There's a certain kind of joy that blooms in the quiet corners of a home. In this sunlit kitchen, a middle-aged woman stands with a warm smile, holding a vase that glistens as if made of glass. But it isn't glass. It's an upcycled plastic bottle, lovingly transformed by her own hands. She remembers the day she found a bottle, empty and ordinary, ready to be thrown away. Instead, she saw it shape its potential. With a few careful cuts, a coat of pastel paint, and a delicate touch of decoupage flowers, it began to change. Slowly, it became something more than a container. It became a piece of her home story. Now, it rests proudly on the counter, holding fresh blooms from her garden. The soft petals lean gently against the smooth, curved surface of the vase. The colors, warm creams, soft pinks, and leafy greens, seem to dance in the morning light, reflecting the joy she felt while making it. To her, this vase isn't just decoration. It's a reminder that beauty doesn't always come from store shelves. Sometimes, it comes from the quiet patience of crafting, from the choice to give something a second chance. Every time she passes a vase, she smiles, not just at the flowers, but at the simple truth it holds. Creativity has no limits when guided by care and imagination. And in her home, every object has a story worth telling. Even something as humble as a bottle that once held nothing more than water. The morning air in the garden is cool and fresh, carrying the faint scent of blooming jasmine. Under the shade of a sprawling mango tree, an elderly man with a gentle smile moves slowly but with purpose. In his hands is a hanging plant pot, not bought from a store, but made from a plastic bottle he saved from the bin. The bottle, once plain and destined for the landfill, has been cut smooth and painted in deep earthy tones. A sturdy rope holds it securely, and inside, a lush green plant spills over the edges, its leaves reaching for the sunlight. He hums softly to himself as he hangs it on the wooden trellis, a ritual he's repeated many times before. For him, this is more than gardening. It's a quiet act of respect for the world he's lived in for decades. He knows that small efforts, reusing a bottle, planting a seed, can grow into something beautiful and lasting. His garden is proof of that. Everywhere you look, there are little signs of his ingenuity. Colorful bottle planters lining the fence, bird feeders swinging gently in the breeze, and a vertical herb garden made entirely from recycled materials. When neighbors pass by, they often stop to admire his work. He greets them with the same warm smile and a simple invitation. Take a cutting, plant at home. You'll see, it's easy to give new life to old things. As the pot settles into its place, catching the morning light, the garden feels just a little more alive. And so does he, knowing that even at his age, he's still creating, still caring, still teaching that beauty can grow anywhere, even from the humblest beginnings. The afternoon sun spills through the window, casting a golden glow across the bedroom floor. Amid scattered paintbrushes, tubes of vibrant acrylic paint, and jars of glitter, a teenage girl sits cross-legged, completely absorbed in her latest creation. In her hands, an ordinary plastic bottle is slowly transforming into the base of a table lamp, one that will be unlike anything found in stores. She tilts her head, deciding on the next stroke of color. The bottle is already coated in a rich shade of teal, the kind that reminds her of summer skies after rain. Around its curves, she's begun painting delicate vines that twist upward, dotted with tiny blossoms in coral and white. Her fingers are smudged with paint, but she doesn't care. Each mark is a sign of her focus, her joy. The idea came to her while scrolling through DIY inspiration online. Why not make something functional and beautiful from what's usually thrown away? She found an old lamp kit, saved from a broken light, and decided to pair it with the bottle. Soon, with a drilled hole, some wiring, and a lampshade she planned to decorate next, it will shine warmly on her bedside table. For her, this isn't just a craft project. It's a statement, proof that creativity can turn waste into wonder. It's also a reminder that her room, her space, should reflect her, colorful, imaginative, and full of stories. When the lamp is finished, it won't just illuminate her books at night. It will glow with the quiet pride of something made by hand. And each time she switches it on, she'll remember this golden afternoon, when the world outside could wait, and all that mattered was a girl, her imagination, and the endless possibilities held in a single plastic bottle. The backyard is alive with the sound of laughter, the kind that bursts out freely without a care. In the middle of it all stands a young boy, his eyes wide with pride as he holds up his latest treasure, a robot toy he built himself from plastic bottles. The robot's body is a large, sturdy bottle, its arms made from smaller soda bottles connected with colorful tape. Bottle caps form its eyes, and a strip of shiny foil serves as its smiling mouth. The boy added buttons made from old jar lids and glued on bits of colored paper, giving the robot a playful personality. He turns it around in his hands, showing it to his parents and siblings, each detail bringing another wave of excitement. "This is Robo Max," he announces proudly. "He can't walk, but he's really good at guarding my books." Everyone laughs, but they know the truth. This little robot is more than just a toy. It's the result of imagination meeting resourcefulness. The boy had found the bottles in a recycling bin, then asked for help cutting and joining the pieces. With a bit of hot glue, leftover paint, and his endless creativity, the robot came to life. In that moment, he's not just a kid playing the yard. He's an inventor, a builder, a storyteller. And as the sun dips lower, casting long shadows, he sets Robo-Max on the garden bench, watching as the light catches its shiny surface. He knows he'll make more. Maybe a whole team of robots, each one different, each one built from things no one wanted. Because to him, these bottles aren't trash. They're the beginnings of adventures waiting to happen, and he's just getting started. In the gentle warmth of Saturday morning, a couple kneels side by side in their backyard, their hands busy and their faces lit with shared joy. Around them are baskets filled with cleaned and cut plastic bottles, each one waiting to be transformed into something beautiful for their garden. The husband carefully drills small holes into the base of a bottle, preparing it to become a hanging planter. Beside him, his wife threads colorful beads and shells onto a string that will hold the planter in place. They exchange quiet laughter as they work, sometimes pausing to admire each other's progress. The idea was born out of their love for both gardening and sustainability. Instead of buying new pots or decorations, they decided to breathe new life into what would otherwise be discarded. Their garden is already a testament to their creativity. Rows of bottle planters hang from the fence, shimmering in the sunlight. Bird feeders made from old soda bottles sway gently in the breeze. Wind chimes, crafted from bottle caps, tinkle softly whenever the wind passes. As they finish assembling a new piece, the wife holds up and smiles. "This one's going near the roses," she says, imagining how the bright blooms will spill over the edges. Her husband nods in agreement, wiping his hands on his jeans. For them, these moments are more than just a DIY project. They're a way of growing their bond, of turning ordinary weekends into memories stitched with color, laughter, and purpose. And when evening comes and their garden glows with the handiwork of the day, they'll sit together on the porch, knowing they've created not just decorations, but a shared story woven into every bottle. The kitchen is filled with the comforting aroma of fresh herbs, coriander, turmeric, cinnamon, each scent weaving into the other like a soft melody. Standing at the counter, a woman in a cream-colored hijab carefully adjusts the lids on her homemade spice rack. At first glance, it looks like a polished, store-bought piece. But in truth, it's a clever creation made entirely from upcycled plastic bottles. She smiles as her fingers glide over each jar. The bottles have been cut, smoothed, and painted in earthy shades of green and beige, each one labeled in neat handwriting. Inside, the spices glow like treasures: golden turmeric powder, deep red chili flakes, emerald dried herbs. They're arranged on a simple wooden frame, each bottle fitting snugly into its place. This spice rack isn't just about storage. It's about preserving flavor and memories. Many of these herbs were grown in her own garden, harvested under the sun, and dried with care. Now, they're ready to infuse her cooking with warmth and tradition. She steps back for a moment, admiring the rack against the soft morning light streaming through the window. There's a quiet pride in knowing that something as simple as a discarded bottle can be transformed into a piece of functional beauty. It's a small act of sustainability, but one that fits perfectly into her way of living, resourceful, creative, and intentional. Later, when guests gather in her kitchen, They'll inevitably ask where she bought such a unique rack. She'll smile and answer softly, "I made it myself." And in that simple reply lies a story of hands at work with love, of a home that values what already has, and of a woman who turns the everyday into something extraordinary. The workshop smells faintly of sawdust and machine oil, the kind of scent that speaks of projects in progress and ideas taking shape. In the middle of this organized chaos stands a man in a worn denim apron, his sleeves rolled up, eyes focused on a plastic bottle in his hands. It's not just any bottle. Soon, it will be part of a custom-made tool organizer. He marks it with a pencil, carefully measuring the cut lines. With practiced precision, he slices the bottle into compartments, each one destined to hold screws, nails, or drill bits. The edges are smoothed down with sandpaper, ensuring there's no sharpness left behind. On the workbench beside him, a wooden board is waiting. He attaches the cut bottles to it, arranging them in neat rows. Some are painted in bright reds and blues to match the workshop's color scheme. Others are left clear so the contents are always visible. Slowly, a once cluttered corner of his bench is transforming into a tidy, efficient space. For him, this isn't just about saving money. It's about making things that fit his exact needs. Store-bought organizers never quite match the way he works. But this one's built for him, by him. And the best part is knowing that something headed for the trash can now serve him for years. When he's done, he stands back, a small grin tugging at the corner of his mouth. Every screwdriver, bolt, and washer has its place. The bottle that once held a sugary drink now holds the pieces that build and repair his world. In that transformation, he sees more than just clever reuse. He sees the proof that in the right hands, nothing is ever truly waste. The late afternoon sun spills gently over the small backyard garden, casting a golden hue on the rows of leafy greens swaying in the breeze. In the middle of it all, a housewife stands beside a water bucket, her floral apron slightly damp from the day's work. In her hand, she holds a scoop, not made of metal or store-bought plastic, but cut and shaped from a reused water bottle. The scoop fits perfectly in her grip, smooth around the edges from careful sanding. She dips it into the bucket, lifting the cool water and pouring it over the soil around her plants. Droplets glisten as they trickle down, catching the last rays of sunlight before disappearing into the earth. It's a small, simple act, but one filled with meaning. She remembers the moment she decided to make the scoop. The old bottle had been sitting in the kitchen corner, waiting to be thrown away. Instead, she saw its potential, just a few cuts with a knife, and it became a tool she now uses every day. Her children sometimes watch her work, curious about why she doesn't just buy a new watering can. She smiles and tells them, because things we make ourselves carry a little more heart. And in that moment, she's teaching them something more valuable than the craft itself. She's teaching them resourcefulness, patience, and care for the world around them. As she moves along the rows, scooping and pouring, she hums a quiet tune. The garden, the scoop, the water, all flow together in a rhythm she's come to love. And when she finally sets the scoop down, it rests lightly on the bucket's edge, a humble reminder that beauty and function can be born from the simplest of ideas. The living room is filled with a soft clink of plastic pieces tapping against each other, like a wind chime swaying in the breeze. A father and his young son stand on either side of the doorway, carefully securing a new curtain, not made of fabric, but from dozens of cut plastic bottles transformed into shimmering, colorful panels. Each piece has been washed, smoothed, and shaped into circles, flowers, and leaf patterns, painted in vibrant hues, turquoise, sunflower yellow, coral pink. They catch the light streaming in from the window, scattering tiny reflections across the walls. The boy's eyes widen every time a patch of sunlight turns a room into a kaleidoscope. They had spent the past weekend crafting it together, cutting the bottles into shapes and threading them onto sturdy fishing line. The father showed his son how to punch tiny holes without cracking the plastic, and the boy took charge of arranging the colors in just the right order. It wasn't just a project. It was a memory in the making. Now, as they step back to admire their work, the boy grins. "It's like a rainbow that moves," he says proudly. The father nods, resting a hand on his son's shoulder. And we made from things people throw away. For the father, This curtain is more than just a decoration. It's a way to show his son that creativity can live in the simplest materials, that beauty doesn't always need to be bought. And for the boy, it's a reminder of an afternoon filled with laughter, color, and the magic of making something with his own two hands. As the last piece sways gently in place, the room feels warmer, not just from the sunlight, but from the shared joy woven into every colorful link. The small art studio smells faintly of paint and varnish, with sunlight streaming in through the wide window. In the center of the room, a young artist stands proudly, holding up a square wooden frame. Inside it, hundreds of plastic bottle caps have been arranged into a dazzling mosaic. A burst of colors forming the image of a blooming sunflower against a deep blue sky. Each cap has its own story. Some once sealed bottles of water. Others came from fizzy drinks or cooking oil. She collected them for months, sorting them by size and shade, knowing that one day they would become something extraordinary. With patience and precision, she glued them in place, layering colors to create depth and shading. Now, as she tilts a mosaic toward the light, the caps gleam like jewels. The texture is rich, the colors vibrant, and the image alive with energy. What was once scattered and unwanted has been transformed into art that commands attention. Friends who visit her studio often ask why she chose to work with something so ordinary. She smiles and says, because art should remind us to see beauty where others don't. For her, the caps aren't just materials, they're symbols of possibility, proof that waste can be reimagined into something worth cherishing. She plans to hang the mosaic in a local community center, where it will brighten the walls and perhaps inspire others to look at what they throw away differently. As she sets the piece down, her fingers brush over the textured surface, feeling the cool, smooth plastic beneath. In that touch is the satisfaction of creation, the quiet pride of knowing that every cap found a place, every color found a purpose, and together they tell a story of transformation and hope. The dining room is bathed in a warm, late-afternoon glow. On the long wooden table, an assortment of tools, ribbons, and paintbrushes are scattered like a painter's palette. At the center of it all, a stylish woman in a soft linen dress leans forward, her hand steady as she applies the finishing touches to a set of candle holders, crafted not from glass or metal, but from upcycled plastic bottles. Each bottle has been cut into elegant shapes, the edges smooth and curved like petals. Some are painted in muted gold, others in frosted white, giving them a timeless, almost ethereal charm. Inside each holder rests a small LED candle, ready to glow without the risk of flame. She arranges them in the middle of the table, surrounding them with fresh eucalyptus sprigs and tiny fairy lights. The effect is mesmerizing, soft reflections bouncing off the smooth curves of the bottles, the candles casting a gentle light that dances across the tablecloth. For her, these pieces are more than just decorations. They're conversation starters, expressions of creativity that blend style with sustainability. She loves seeing the surprise in guests' eyes when they realize these elegant holders were once humble water bottles. As she steps back to admire the arrangement, she feels a quiet sense of fulfillment. This table will soon host friends and family, the air filled with laughter, the candlelight adding warmth to every shared moment. And woven into the beauty of it all is a simple truth, that elegance doesn't need to come from expensive purchases. Sometimes, it's born from the willingness to see potential in the overlooked and the joy of crafting something with your own hands. The soft chirping of sparrows fills the air as a teenage boy crouches on the porch, a half-finished project laid out before him. In his hands is a large plastic bottle, its surface marked with careful lines and cutouts. What once held soda will soon become a cozy little home for the birds that flutter through his backyard every morning. He's already cut a round entrance hole near the center, smoothing the edges so the tiny residents won't be harmed. Around the opening, he's glued small wooden popsicle sticks, creating a charming rustic frame. The roof, made from overlapping pieces of painted cardboard, sits snugly over the top, ready to shield against rain. Beside him lies a box of decorations, twine for hanging, small stones for weight, and a tiny perch made from a twig he found in the yard. As he works, he hums softly, glancing up every now and then to see if any curious birds are watching. This isn't just about building a birdhouse. It's about giving something back to the little creatures that bring life to his mornings. He imagines them hopping inside, chirping happily, perhaps raising their chicks within its recycled walls. When the birdhouse is complete, he ties the twine securely and hangs it from a sturdy branch of the guava tree. The sunlight catches its surface, making it gleam in the afternoon light. He steps back, hands on his hips, a proud smile spreading across his face. And as if on cue, a small finch lands on the perch, tilting its head to inspect this new addition. The boy grins. This is exactly what he'd hoped for. A small act of care, built from something ordinary, now turned into a safe haven for tiny wings. The late afternoon air is still and warm, the kind of weather mosquitoes seem to love. On the shaded veranda, an elderly man sits at a small wooden table, a large plastic bottle before him. His hands, whether from years of work, move with steady precision as he cuts the bottle into 2 parts. He works quietly, a small smile on his face, humming an old folk tune. Into the bottom half of the bottle, he pours a mixture of brown sugar and warm water, stirring until it dissolves. From the kitchen, he brings a packet of dry yeast and sprinkles it over the surface, knowing it will release the scent that lures mosquitoes. With care, he inverts the top half of the bottle, fitting it like a funnel into the base. A strip of black cloth wraps around the outside, making it dark, mosquitoes' favorite hiding place. It's a simple design, one he learned years ago, but it's effective. No chemicals, no sprays, just the quiet science of fermentation. As he works, his granddaughter sits beside him, watching intently. "Why don't we just buy one, Grandpa?" she asks. He chuckles and replies, "Because making it ourselves teaches us more than buying ever could." They carry the finished trap to a corner of the garden, setting it down among the potted plants. The air smells faintly sweet now, the yeast already beginning its work. For the grandfather, this isn't just about keeping mosquitoes away. It's about passing down a little wisdom, about showing the next generation that solutions don't always have to come from a store. Sometimes, all you need is a bottle, a bit of know-how, and the patience to let nature do the rest. The classroom hums with excitement, not from textbooks or chalkboards, but from the rows of bright plastic bottles laid out on the tables. A cheerful teacher stands at the front, her sleeves rolled up, holding a pair of scissors in one hand and a colorful marker in the other. Around her, a group of children watch eagerly, their eyes following every movement. She shows them how to cut the bottles carefully, shaping them into little pots. "Remember," she says warmly, "smooth the edges so the plant will have a safe home." Her voice is gentle but full of enthusiasm, the kind that makes learning feel like play. The students begin decorating their pots, dipping brushes into jars of paint, adding stripes, flowers, and even their names. Laughter bubbles up as one boy paints his bottle bright purple with polka dots, while a girl next to him adds glitter along the edges. Once the designs are dry, the teacher helps him poke small holes at the bottom for drainage. She ties strong twine around the tops, demonstrating how to secure the knots so the pots can hang without tipping. Together, they fill the pots with soil and tiny seedlings, marigolds, petunias, and herbs that will soon spill over with life. By the end of the lesson, the classroom is transformed. The children proudly carry their hanging pots outside, fastening them along the school fence where they sway gently in the breeze. The teacher stands back, watching as the garden takes shape before her eyes. For her, this is more than a craft project. It's a way to sow seeds of responsibility, creativity, and environmental care in young hearts. And as the children leave, chattering excitedly about watering their plants, she knows these little hanging gardens will grow more than flowers. They'll grow memories. The small bedroom glows with the soft light of a desk lamp, casting gentle shadows over a work table scattered with paintbrushes, scissors, and tiny beads. Sitting at the table, a teenage girl leans over a large plastic bottle, her fingers moving with careful precision. She has already cut the bottle into delicate, petal-like shapes, smoothing each edge so they curve gracefully. Layer by layer, she paints them in a gradient, deep pink at the base, fading to a pale blush at the tips, turning the plastic into something almost floral. On the side, a simple string of warm LED lights waits. She weaves them gently through the bottle center, securing them so the glow will radiate outward. When she turns the lights on for the first time, the petals catch the golden hue, scattering it into a soft, romantic shimmer across the walls. This lamp isn't just decoration. It's a piece of herself. Every bead glued to the edges, every stroke of paint, carries her mood from the day she started the project. She imagines it sitting by her bed, lighting her late-night reading sessions, or becoming the centerpiece of her next sleepover with friends. Her younger brother peeks into the room, eyes widening. "You made that?" he asks. She nods, a small smile forming. "From a soda bottle," she replies, the pride in her voice as bright as the lamp's glow. When it's finally placed on her bedside table, the lamp transforms the entire room into a warm, inviting cocoon. And in that moment, she knows it's more than just a DIY success. It's proof that beauty can shine brightest when it's built from imagination, patience, and a willingness to see magic in the simplest things. The morning sun rises over wide green fields, casting long shadows between neat rows of crops. A farmer, wearing a straw hat and faded shirt, kneels down in the soil, a weathered smile on his face. In his hands is a large plastic bottle, once used for cooking oil, now destined to become part of his homemade irrigation system. He drills a tiny hole in the bottle's cap, just enough for water to drip slowly through. Then he buries the bottle halfway into the soil beside a young tomato plant, filling it with fresh water from a metal pail. A slow, steady drop begins to form, sinking into the earth right at the plant's roots. The farmer moves methodically down the row, repeating the process, each bottle becoming a silent helper under the sun. There's no waste, no evaporation, just a constant supply of moisture that keeps the plants thriving, even on the hottest days. He learned this method years ago from another farmer who swore by it during dry seasons. Now it's become part of his routine, saving both time and water. Looking at the bottles lying along the field, he feels a quiet satisfaction. What once was trash now sustains life. Later in the afternoon, he rests under a tree, sipping tea from a metal cup, watching the drip bottles glisten in the sunlight. The plants stand tall, their leaves vibrant and strong, a living testament to simple ingenuity. For him, this is more than just a farming trick. It's a reminder that solutions don't always come from expensive equipment. Sometimes, the best tools are already in our hands, waiting for us to see their hidden worth. The salty breeze drifts in from the shoreline as a fisherman sits cross-legged on a weathered wooden pier. In his lap lies a large, clear plastic bottle, once filled with mineral water, now on its way to becoming a clever fish trap. With a small knife, he carefully slices off the top portion of the bottle, inverting it to form a funnel and securing it back inside with fishing line. He knows that once fish swim into the narrow opening, they'll find it almost impossible to escape. To make it more inviting, he drops in bits of bread and a shiny lure, the scent and sparkle drawing curious fish closer. The edges are checked, smoothed, and tied down so no sharp plastic harms his catch. Once complete, the trap looks simple, but he knows its effectiveness lies in its patience. It works quietly, without the need for constant attention. Carrying it to the shallows, he lowers the trap into the water, watching as the bottle shimmers beneath the surface. The sunlight plays across its curves, making it almost invisible to the fish. For the fisherman, this project isn't just about saving money on gear. It's about using what's available, turning waste into something with purpose. Out here, far from the city, every resource matters. The bottle he's reusing today might have ended up polluting the ocean tomorrow. Instead, it's become part of his livelihood. He settles back on the pier, letting his legs dangle over the edge, eyes scanning the waves. There's a quiet pride in knowing that the tools of his trade can be born from the same waters he works in. And when the trap finally yields its first catch, it will be more than just fish. It will be proof that ingenuity and respect for nature can work hand in hand. The aroma of freshly ground coffee fills the air inside a small, cozy cafe tucked away on a quiet street corner, above the wooden counter. The owner stands on a small step stool, adjusting a row of new hanging lamps. At first glance, they look like boutique designer pieces. But in truth, each one began life as an ordinary plastic bottle. The bottles have been cut, shaped, and painted in warm, earthy tones, amber, copper, and deep forest green. Their surfaces are textured with intricate patterns, some etched by hand, others created by wrapping twine before painting. leaving delicate grooves. Inside, soft LED bulbs glow, casting gentle pools of light that dance across the tables below. The cafe owner steps back to admire the effect. The lamps don't just brighten the space, they tell a story. Customers often ask about them, and she smiles, explaining how each was made from bottles collected by friends and neighbors. It's a conversation starter, a little spark of inspiration that makes people see everyday objects differently. The way the light filters through the plastic gives the cafe a warm, inviting atmosphere, perfect for slow afternoons with a book or long conversations over cappuccinos. The clink of cups and hum of quiet chatter blend with the golden glow from above, creating a space that feels both intimate and alive. For the owner, these lamps are more than decoration. They're a reflection of her values. Sustainability, creativity, and community come together in every piece. And as she takes one last look before opening the doors of the day, she feels certain that these small, glowing creations will make her cafe not just a place to drink coffee, but a place to feel at home. The afternoon sun spills into the small front porch, where a little boy sits cross-legged on the cool cement floor. In front of him lies a clear plastic bottle, a handful of bright plastic caps, and a roll of string. His eyes shine with excitement. Today, he's building his very own toy car. First, he carefully pokes holes through the sides of the bottle, just big enough for the wooden skewers that will serve as axles. The plastic caps become wheels, each one pressed firmly onto the ends of the sticks. The bottle's smooth shape makes the perfect car body, and he decorates it with colorful stickers and marker drawings, lightning bolts, racing stripes, and even a hand-drawn number 7 on the side. With a small tug on the string tied to the front, the car rolls forward smoothly. The boy's laughter fills the air as he tests it again and again, racing it across the porch, watching the sunlight flash on its shiny surface. This isn't just play, it's a moment of invention. Using only a few simple materials, he's created something that moves, something he can call his own. The pride on his face says it all. This toy is special because it came from his hands, not a store shelf. Later, his father joins him on the porch, showing him how to make the car go faster by adjusting the wheel alignment. They race their creation side by side, the boy's giggles mixing with his father's quiet chuckles. In the soft glow of the setting sun, the little plastic car sits parked next to its maker. It's more than a toy. It's a memory, a reminder that joy can be built from the simplest things, and that sometimes the best playtime starts with an empty bottle and a bit of imagination. The late afternoon light filters softly through the apartment window, painting golden stripes across the living room wall. In one corner, a young woman sits at a small table, surrounded by neatly cut pieces of sturdy plastic bottles. Each piece has been shaped, sanded, and polished until smooth, their curved forms ready to be transformed into something useful. She arranges the bottle halves into small compartments, stacking them together in a hexagonal pattern. Their edges are joined with a clear adhesive, forming an elegant honeycomb design. Once dry, she sprays them with matte white paint, giving the surface a clean, modern look that blends seamlessly with her decor. When the structure is complete, she mounts it onto the wall with hidden brackets. In each compartment, she places little treasures: a tiny potted succulent, a rolled-up hand towel, a jar of seashells from her last vacation. The recycled plastic holds everything securely, and the arrangement looks like something straight out of a design magazine. Friends who visit often compliment the piece, surprised when she reveals its humble beginnings. "Just plastic bottles," she says with a smile, and their expressions shift from disbelief to admiration. For her, this mini-wall shelf isn't only about storage. It's about telling a quiet story of transformation. It reminds her every day that creativity can turn overlooked materials into something beautiful and practical. And in a small city apartment, where space is precious, this little shelf proves that style and sustainability can live side by side. As she steps back to admire her work, the soft evening glow catches the shelf's curves, casting gentle shadows on the wall. The bottles may have been ordinary once, but now they hold not just objects, but pieces of her personality.